Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm here today to do my my end of January wrap up, and I read a total of 17 books in the last 2 weeks of January. So total I read 31 books in January, so a book a day. So yeah, let's get started with the books I read. So I read Priest by Simone. This was a reread and I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. And this follows Poppy and Tyler, and yeah, it's a taboo forbidden romance following Tyler, who is a priest, and Poppy. There are some darker themes in here, so just be aware. And that's pretty much all I'm going to tell you because I feel like it's better not knowing much. But really good. Then I read Submerged by Lacey. This is book 1 in the Bound Together series. This is a second chance romance secret baby story. I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. This follows Carly and Blake. They meet one night at a bar and they end up at Carly's place and they sleep together, and she ends up pregnant, and it's like almost 2 years later when she sees him again. He is a undercover cop and it's their story. 3 out of 5 stars. Then I read Midnight Mass by Simone. This is book number 1.5 in the Priest-series. Again, this follows Poppy and Tyler and their story. This is a little novella. I do tell you there is trigger warning of miscarriage, so just be aware of that. I gave this one 3.5 out of 5 stars. Then I read Balance by Lucia Franco, and this is book 1 in the Off Balance series. This was a reread. This is a taboo forbidden age gap book that follows Adriana, who is a aspiring gymnast who wants to go to the Olympics, and she moves to a different gym with like coaches to help her achieve that. And then Kova is one of the coaches there. He is also her dad's friend, and I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. It is I listened to this on audio and enjoyed it. And then I read Execution by Lucia Franco. This is book 2 in the Off Balance series. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. Again, this was a reread, and this picks up where Balance leaves off, and it follows Adriana and Kova, and it's their story. Then I read The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata, and this one I gave 4 out of 5 stars. This was probably my favorite Mariana Zapata book I've read, and I really enjoyed it. This is like a marriage of convenience story that follows Aiden and Vanessa. Aiden is from Canada, so he needs to have a green card, so he asks Vanessa to marry him so he could get his green card. That she used to be his assistant, and then something happened and she quit. And I really enjoyed this. This one I listened to on audio, and this for my TBR game was for TBR Vet on audio, and for Romanceopoly Passion Place, which was to read a slow burn series or book, and I really enjoyed that one. And then the next one I read, I actually have to grab something, sorry, was my anthology for my TBR game, and that was Twisted Christmas by a lot of people, and overall I gave that 3.5 out of 5 stars, and really enjoyed it. There are 12 taboo, forbidden, age gap stories, and yeah, my battery is flashing, so I'm gonna change the battery and tell you each story. So as I said, I read Twisted Christmas, which is an anthology of 12 stories, so taboo they are deliciously twisted is the little heading, and this has stories from QB Tyler, B Celeste, and so forth. So what I did was I wrote everyone what I thought of them down. So the first one is Sweet Blasphemy by Sarah Kate. This is a priest romance following Cora and Father Roman, 93 pages and 3.5 rating. Then we have The Attack Zone by B Celeste, and this is a boyfriend's brother's romance by following Adeline and Darian, 96 pages and 4.5 ratings. Then Bittersweet Revenge by Katharina Marla. This is an age gap romance following Alana and Stylus' older brother's revenge, 44 pages and 3.5 rating. There's actually a full-length novel of this one, so I'm very intrigued to read that one. Then you have Dirty Secrets by Ivy Fox and Thera Vena, I don't know how to say that, sorry, which is a ex-boyfriend's dad romance. This follows Nikki and James, 105 pages and 3.5 rating. Then you have Hating Mr. Cooper by Amanda Richardson, which is a best friend's dad romance, age gap student teacher, Wen and Blake, 72 pages and 3.5 rating. Then you have Unwrap Him by Nyla K, which is a male guardian ward romance that follows James and Jesse, 133 pages, and I gave that one 3 stars. Then you have Through the River into the Woods by Lee Lennon, and this is a taboo male F or MMF romance, stepbrother, godfather, Kenzie, River, and Isaiah. I gave this one 4 stars and 113 pages. Then you have Stray by SD Holyfield, and I gave this one 4 stars, and this is a stepbrother romance with Catalina and Hunter, and 138 pages. Then you have Elect Hearts and Broken Virtues by A.R. Beck, which is a foster father romance, MC romance, age gap, 97 pages. I gave this one 3.5 stars, and it follows Iris and Lux, and this one is supposed to have a full-length novel. I haven't been able to find it, so and then you have Sugar Daddy Santa Claus by Bellamy Rosalie, and this is a best friend's dad MFF romance following Chloe, Avery, and Zane. I gave this one 3.5, and it's 102 pages. And then lastly, you have Baby by S. Reina and B.L. Mute, and this is a forbidden reverse age gap following Ivy and Ashton, 57 pages, and this one also has a full-length book. And those are the 11 I read. The one I did not read was QB Tyler's book in this one, because I read the full-length novel. So I just skipped over that one because I've already read the novel, and that was her stepbrother one. I forget, was Always With Me or something like that. So I did not read that one, but I read everything else. And then I read Release by Lucia Franco, and this is the third book in the Off Balance series. Again, I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. Listened to it on audio and really enjoyed the audiobook. It's really good. I'm very excited to continue on with the series. So yeah. And then I read Power by Cassandra Robbins. And this one I gave 3.5 out of 5 stars. And this is part of the Blurry Line series, which is like a taboo series. This is available on Kindle Unlimited. And this is one of the 2 books I've read on my February TBR at the end of January. So this was for my Uno KU for Wild and Windy TBR. She's going to be at the signing I'm going to. And as I said, I gave this one 3.5 out of 5 stars. This follows Raven and Jet. This is a mom's fiance book. And that's pretty much all I'm going to tell you. I really liked it and excited to read more for her, and that was my first time reading that author. And then lastly, on my iPad, I read Jasper Vale by Devney Perry. This is book number 4 in the Eden series. I give this one 4 out of 5 stars. This is a marriage of convenience. Well, not convenience. This is a marriage story. Accidentally married story. This follows Eloise, who runs the Eloise Inn in Montana, and she goes to Vegas to watch her brother-in-law, or soon-to-be brother-in-law, fight his last fight, and there she meets Jasper, who is his trainer, her brother-in-law's trainer, and they get drunk and decide to get married, and it's their story trying to figure out, do they stay married, and go from there. But I really enjoyed it. As I said, 4 out of 5 stars. And now on to my physical books. Oh, did I not? Sorry, I need to grab one more. So I read Wild Highway by Devney Perry. This is book number 2 in the Runaway series. Following this one follows Gemma and Easton. This is the second chance romance. Gemma had her own company and decides to sell it before she goes to visit her friend from the first book, and then her friend, what can I think of her name? Is it London? London gives her the keys to the Cadillac, and she goes to Montana to hopefully see Catherine. And there she runs into Easton, who she had a fling with before she left for Boston. And I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read Quarter Mile, which is book number 3 in the Runaway series, and this one is a friends to lovers book that follows Catherine and Cash Cash is Easton's brother, and Catherine is Gemma's friend. And after the events that happened in Wild Highway, Gemma gives the keys to Catherine, and she decides to go to Oregon to see her friend Aura. Is that how you say? Yeah. So there's that. And then I read Forsaken Trail by Devney, which is the 4th book in the Runaway series, and this follows Aura and Brody, who is Aria's boss, and she doesn't like. Aria runs a hotel in Oregon, and she goes to visit her sister who lives in Arizona, and while she's there, her sister's sick, so she goes to a wedding with Brody, and they get drunk and sleep together, and she ends up pregnant. So it's a accidentally pregnant book. So I give this one 4 out of 5 stars. Then we have Dotted Lines by Devney. This is the 5th and final book in the Runaway series, and this one follows Clara, who is Ari's sister, and Carson, who is the last boy, or the last person in the junkyard that they did. Teens, and it's their story. I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars, and I'm pretty sure Forsaken Trails is my favorite. I really enjoyed that one, but those were rereads. And then I read Nick and Charlie by Alice Oseman, and this is a heart-stopper novella. I gave this one 5 out of 5 stars. It's a few years after Heartstopper. It's just super cute and fun. Quick read. It's very short. So, and then I read For Lucy by Julianne, and this was part of the Hella Lovely book. And this one I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed this one. This is a very emotional book. This follows Emmett and Tatum, and Emmett sees Tatum as like she's a blind date, and he goes up to her and was like, I'm your date, but he's really not. And it's their story. They're married. This is told in flashbacks and present, and it's very emotional, but I really enjoyed it. And then lastly, I have Beast by Cambria Hebert. This is book number 4 in the House of Misfits series. For my Uno game for February, this was this other book I read, which was For Libby, and this follows Imogen and Andre, and he gets cursed, and his face is scarred, and then Imogen is a nurse at the hospital sort of that he's working at, and it's their story. I really enjoyed this. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I'm really excited to continue on with the series. But those are all of the books I read in the last 2 weeks. So those plus all of those. And yeah, if you want a full review on any of these, let me know. And what are some books you read in January? And I'll see everyone later. Bye.